Welcome to episode 7 of the CW Weekly for the 13th of February 2013. This week we have a lot of speculation before Sony's big announcement next week, but as I mentioned before, depending on the time of the announcement I will either be including the PS4 in next week's episode, or I will be making a separate video the day after, which I'll likely be joined by Ryan in. That's next week however, so let's take a look at this week's news. This week brought a bunch of game developers and publishers together to the annual DICE Summit in Las Vegas. A few big names such as Warren Spector and Genova Chen gave talks, and among them was the boss of Valve, Gabe Newell, accompanied by the producer of the 2009 Star Trek film and the upcoming Star Wars Episode 7, J.J. Abrams. The two discussed storytellings in video games and in movies, and they ended the keynote on an interesting note. Abrams mentioned that he and his company Bad Robot Productions would be interested in working with Valve on a game. This was followed by Newell mentioning that he also wants to work with Abrams on producing a Half-Life or Portal movie. None of this is definitely happening however, as the two were simply discussing ideas rather than announcing any plans. Only time will tell if these two ideas become reality, and this is Valve, so it may be a long time indeed. You can watch the full keynote via the link in the description. Next up is some surprising news regarding the previously Wii U exclusive Rayman Legends. The game, which was due for release on the 28th of February this year, has been delayed by Ubisoft for a massive 7 months until September 2013. The reason for the delay is that Ubisoft want to release a version of the game for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 and have a universal release date across all platforms. This doesn't make much sense however, as the Wii U version was actually near completion. Understandably, fans of the series have been upset about this, and even the developers of the game have come out in protest against the delay. Personally, I think this is a terrible move for a few reasons. Firstly, there's no reason why the game shouldn't be released on Wii U first anyway, as a timed exclusive. And also, September is a month full of releases, including Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's also the time that the next generation Xbox and PlayStation are expected to be released. We are now just 1 week away from Sony's PlayStation Meeting 2013, where they will almost certainly unveil the PlayStation 4. A few Sony-owned developers have been building up the hype with teasers for the event. Among them is an interesting tease from Media Molecule, the developers of Little Big Planet and the upcoming Vita game Tearaway. The Media Molecule blog has sections for various projects, and this week a new one named Toya appeared. There is one blog post within the area with a title of a single question mark, and embedded into the page is a YouTube video of a fairly weird song called It's a Mystery being sung on Top of the Pops by an artist named Toya. Media Molecule aren't the only developers to be teasing something however, as both MotorStorm developers Evolution and Killzone developers Guerrilla are believed to be revealing something at the event on Wednesday. It seems that Square Enix may be breathing some new life into the Legacy of Kain series, which hasn't seen a release in almost 10 years. The publisher have registered a domain in the form of warfornosgoth.com, which is a nod towards the setting from the Legacy of Kain series. In 2009, Eidos Interactive merged with Square Enix, and in doing so, Square acquired the rights to the franchise. If an announcement is made regarding this title, it will be featured on the CWG Weekly. The Raspberry Pi is a small and cheap Linux-based computer, which is about the size of a credit card, and is used to teach the owner the basics of coding. As a result, it is being used to teach children programming in schools. Mojang, the people behind the massively popular PC game Minecraft, have released a free version of the game for the Raspberry Pi system, as they announced last year at Minecon. The free version will allow you to play around with code in real time. If you have a Raspberry Pi system, all you need to do is visit the link in the description and follow the instructions to download it. It's looking like this upcoming week will be full of big reveals, as Bungie, the developers of Halo, have posted an ARG and countdown for their current project known as Destiny. The countdown will end on Monday, and it could result in the first footage or screenshots of the game. This will be their first game since the company signed a publishing deal with Activision in 2007. Finally, Nintendo have announced a new Nintendo Direct show for tomorrow, the 14th of February 2013. You can watch the show live from the link in the description at 2 PM UK time, or your time zone equivalent, which you can find in the NeoGAF thread in the description. The company will be discussing the future of 3DS titles. The last Nintendo Direct was a few weeks ago, where they revealed their plans for E3, along with the Wind Waker HD, a Fire Emblem / Shin Megami Tensei crossover, a sequel to Xenoblade, and more. The show will likely be posted on Nintendo's YouTube channel after, and I will be covering any of the announcements next week. So that is it from episode 7 of the CWG Weekly. Join me next week where I will likely be looking into the PlayStation 4, along with a bunch of other news. But for now, that's all from me, so thanks for watching. Please like, favourite and subscribe for more like this, and I will see you next time.